Hello and welcome to Accent Excellence. I'm Chuck Lionberger, and coming up on this month's show, we'll have our special graduation edition featuring highlights from the graduations that took place here at the Salem Civic Center on May the 21st and 22nd. So don't go anywhere. This special edition of Accent Excellence starts next.
If you would like to adopt a pet, did you know that you can also go to the RCACP website and their Facebook page to look at pets for adoption? It's easy to do. Simply go to their website at rcacp.org or visit their Facebook page. Both sites include information and pictures of animals waiting to be adopted.
And we're back with our special graduation edition of Accent Excellence. We'll be featuring highlights from the student speeches that took place during graduation ceremonies here at the Salem Civic Center on May the 21st and 22nd. So let's begin with the Knights of Cave Spring High School.
Class of 2019, we survived. We survived countless flash floods of biblical proportions. We survived black mold, yes, it did exist. We survived sleepless nights pretending to do homework. We survived power outages, one of which is rumored to have been caused by a curious but unlucky squirrel. Bless that squirrel, however, I'm pretty sure he got me out of an algebra test. I wasn't feeling it that morning, Mr. Moore, I'm sorry. As a class, we've shared in the victory and defeat, in celebration and sadness, blessings and illness, pride and relocation. You heard me right, I said relocation. Did you honestly think I was going to get through this speech without bringing up the trailer park? By the way, I will be available to sign your plastic flamingos after the ceremony if you'd like. Nevertheless, we have persevered. We've survived successful grades, and that one student who just won't close their mouth while chewing during your quiet study hall. How are they always hungry? I don't understand. I will refrain from expressing our survival anymore, as we have not yet turned these tassels. Whoever you are out there, if you feel compelled to whip out a box of Cheez-Its, now is the time. All joking aside, no matter which cards we've been dealt over the last 4 years, we've done our very best the only way we know how, together. Together we entered our school. Together we walked the halls. Together we laughed, and together we cried. But now is the time to go our separate ways. Now is the time we must step out into the world and pretend to lead adult lives for 4 years. To the moms out there, I commend you in advance for the loads of laundry that will surely pass through your hands in the coming years. Students, don't lie to yourselves. Between the loads of laundry and endless hours of studying, however, are the moments that truly matter. Now responsible for our own success, it is up to us to no longer advocate for change, but to be the change in the world we hope to see. It is up to us to embrace both challenge and failure so that we may never lose sight of our dreams, ever changing as they may be. But above all, it is our responsibility to strive to become not who we envisioned, but rather who we are meant to be. As we enter this new, exciting, unknown stage of life, with only a piece of paper in hand and the sense to ask whether we may use the bathroom or not, we can anticipate it with joy and courage in our hearts, knowing that we will forever be Knights of Cave Spring High School. It is with the highest honor and humbled heart that I truly wish you all good luck and the very best.
Honor est maior. 3 words every knight has heard or seen at least once. But why, you might ask? What's important about 3 terms from a dead language? During medieval times, the position of knight was thought to be one of the most sought after. A knight's training would consist of endless discipline, both mentally and physically, in order to sharpen their wits. Although a knight was to remember many important lessons, the most essential was that of honor. A knight was to live with it, learn with it, fight with it, and should the time arise, die with it. I believe that this class that sits before me exemplifies honor and will continue to do so throughout the later stages of life. We all have honed our skills into what we wish to do for possibly the rest of our lives. The people that have surrounded me within the walls of that school truly display what it means to be a knight. I saw that quality on display when I walked through the front doors of the high school for the first time, when we took the final senior picture at the class to go through this old school, and when we got ourselves here today. As one adaptable unit, we lead the way for a better tomorrow. We will face trials and tribulations, troubles and tasks, but it's nothing we haven't seen before and faced together. The trick to it, though, is to bear through the bad to reach the good. Famous comedian and beloved actor Robin Williams once said, "There is still a lot to learn, and there is always great stuff out there. Even mistakes can be wonderful. We learn from the missteps so that we might have a better tomorrow." The community of Cave Spring has blessed us all at least once in our 4 years here, and on behalf of the class that stands before me, I thank you all. I cannot wait to see the thriving future for those moving on to better chapters of their lives, wherever it may be, whatever it may be. However, sadly for now, our time here is past. This next step for everyone, although a big one, is a manageable one. Take it slow. Take it in. Never forget the moments like these. For those of my fellow Netflix enthusiasts out there, here's a quote from arguably my favorite show, The Office. "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you actually left them." Famous words by Andy Bernard. Classmates, I ask you not to take on the future alone. Any opportunity you encounter later will be one that must be cherished with others. For anybody still awake out there, if there is one thing I ask everyone here to take away from this, it is to keep moving forward. Although the battle of life is that of a slow and steady one, it is one you are held accountable to fight for. Although I personally did not take physics in my time at Cave Spring, I will inform you of one important term. A shortened version of Webster's dictionary definition for potential energy is the energy that a piece of matter has because of its position. Fellow classmates, we are the potential, and we are finally in that position. All it takes is a little push. Honor est Mayor. Thank you.
We're continuing our special graduation edition of Acts and Excellence with the Highlanders of Glenver High School.
Glenver is a home because not only do the teachers and staff push us to work to our full potential, but they know us. They knew when to push us and when to help us. They gave us enough assistance to where we weren't drowning and enough freedom to develop our own strength, mentally, academically, and spiritually. In the same year, I heard someone joke that they could have chosen a better mascot than a man wearing a skirt. At the time, I laughed, nodded, and agreed. 6 years later, I couldn't disagree more. For the Highlander represents both things that Glenver has been teaching us for those 6 years now. With every paper, every test, quiz, study session, or project, we get the preparation we need to persevere, to face things that may be difficult or scary. And for many of us, including myself, the uncertain prospect of the future is a terrifying thing. However, if this school has taught me anything, it is that when times are rough, we just need to grab our swords and our kilts and power through.
We felt more confident about our creation being a success. After we secured the cake in the oven, we had to focus our attention on mixing the frosting together. The first order of business is to acquire the following elements: a bit of communication, 6 ounces of organization, a dollop of sacrifice, 2 tablespoons of multitasking, a ton of tenacity, and 1 pint of support. Then we blended these items to finish this critical step in order to create an aspiration for our lives. The last step in our junior year is to take the cake out of the oven and formulate a plan for the future. Senior year is the final step in the baking process. We applied the frosting to the cake and completed the masterpieces we wanted to represent ourselves in the world. Without this step to personalize our dessert, we might as well all be pound cake. I consider our graduating class to be a display case in a fancy bakery where there are a variety of shapes, sizes, and flavors, with everyone unique and special in their own right. When we leave Glenver and venture out into the world, we each have the responsibility of selling ourselves to others as we would our cake. Once the cakes are displayed and purchased, the case is left empty and the cycle continues. We must create a new cake to represent the next steps in our lives. However, this time there is a big difference. This time we are already equipped with the experience and knowledge to be successful because we are graduates of Glenver High School.
High school extends far beyond preparing us for educational and occupational careers. It eases us into life by allowing us to cultivate our minds and our hearts along people that feel like family. For this, I hope you have cherished the last 4 years. Before you know it, you will be heading to your next journey along with people you'll have to familiarize yourself with. They won't understand why you enjoyed learning in a trailer park and that it's your choice to make it a great day or not. And most importantly, they'll never understand why absolute chaos came about a decision to move graduation from the stadium to the Civic Center. They'll never know what it was like to be a Highlander. That is an experience and a mentality that is specific to us. This bond, these moments, these people, together they make up a bigger moment called life. So, am I glad to be graduating? Of course I am, but of course I'm not. This chapter of life that I've depended so heavily on for 4 simultaneously long and short years is coming to an end. It certainly was not always fun, but it was always there. High school always showed up, whether we wanted it to or not, but so did our families, our friends, our teachers. We came through for one another. We showed up. Think of the person that relentlessly supported you in this pursuit and thank them. You and I could not have done it alone. Thank you to my family, my friends, and the incredible teachers and faculty at Glenver. And while we complained a lot and wished it all to an end, I encourage each of you, and I encourage myself, to appreciate it now, before the moments are mere memories. Today, we say goodbye to the consistency that we have known, and we begin to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, because it is here. The inevitable ending has arrived. Are we ready for the end? Of course, and of course not. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2019.
And we're back with more of our special graduation edition of Acts and Excellence. Let's hear from the Titans of Hidden Valley High School.
On my first day of kindergarten, a day full of terror and fright, my bus driver told me he liked my shoes. The essence of our human experience is the present. We cannot and will not ever escape the reality that the past and the future are, in their purest form, fiction, exactly juxtaposed to the present. Whether fearful or hopeful, depressing or exciting, every moment of our lives we get to experience in the realness of the present, not in the patched nature of the past or the misleading expectations of the future. We will remember a few moments from today. We will remember walking across the stage, grabbing that diploma, turning to look at our parents who are probably crying. We'll think back to throwing our caps in the air. But the only time in which those perfect memories are real are when they happen. If we can train ourselves to live our lives always in the present, we will reap the benefits of a more fulfilling life. There's one question that every high school senior cannot avoid. What are your plans for next year? I worked hard in high school. I took my classes seriously and invested time in extensive extracurriculars. The beginning of senior year wasn't too bad. I had my rehearsed line explaining my options for college or maybe a gap year. But as time went on, I had less and less to say. I wasn't able to realize it in the moment, but I had begun to let myself live in a world of that fictional future. I applied to 7 universities, but one by one, they came back saying that they regret to inform, or they'd received a record number of applications that year. Please don't misunderstand. I am so lucky to have the opportunity to go to a great university. But it did have a huge impact on me because the future that had been inside my head for the last few months was all of a sudden gone. A total rewrite. And it took me a long time. It even took me writing this speech to realize the danger of what I had been doing. The danger of wasting the real time of my life, which happens in the now. I began to realize that we can't live in the past, and we can't live in the future. We have to live in the present, where all of life happens. We often spend this graduation day in a state of fiction. We look forward to our future. We envision an entire universe of expectations that may or may not come the way we're expecting. We look back on 4 fantastic years. We remember the good and the bad. Yet we often don't remember our past in its reality, but rather in a fabrication pointed towards how we would have liked things to go. The metaphor today is that the story of our lives is not a script, because it can't be written in advance, and it can't be looked back on in total accuracy. The story of our lives is an ever-present, ever-changing, ongoing ballad of love, triumph, and failure, and it all happens in the now, in the present. The Canadian philosopher Eckhart Tolle said, "It is not uncommon for people to wait their whole life to start living." Waiting is a state of mind. Basically, it means that you want the future. You don't want the present. You don't want what you've got, and you want what you haven't got. With every kind of waiting, you unconsciously create inner conflict between your here and now, where you don't want to be, and the protected future, where you want to be. When my bus driver told me he liked my shoes, a simple act of kindness brought me from the fear of a fictional future, of the daunting changes and challenges of kindergarten, to the simple, beautiful world of the present where the only thing that mattered was that my bus driver liked my shoes. We strive to progress and to grow and to move forward, but what we don't realize is, as Mahatma Gandhi said, what we do in the future depends on what we do in the present. I've learned that each of our lives will have highs and lows, triumphs and failures along the way. I've learned that if we don't stay stuck in the past or the future, but live in the profound truth of every day, then life will be beautiful. Hidden Valley, don't wait any longer to start living. Embrace your present. Embrace your now, and you will live a life of fulfillment and happiness. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome back to our special graduation edition of Acts and Excellence. Let's head back inside the Salem Civic Center to hear from the valedictorians of Northside High School.
During my high school career, like most of you, I knew exactly what to do to be successful. But in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do. I would sit through lectures nodding my head, thinking I would understand what was going on, but then go back to class the next day realizing I was wrong, asking the teacher to re-explain what happened the day before, but maybe this time pretend I was 5. And this kind of thing happened to me a lot during high school with various classes. But I always overcame these blockages and managed to work my way back towards success. I managed to get through high school through the hours I put in studying and practicing problems. Yet, despite all my preparation, I was always scared of the next assignment or the next test, thinking that this time I will not pass because the last time I was simply lucky. I would think it was too hard, I was too dumb, or it simply wouldn't work out this time. But it somehow always did. And I think it's because of all the people who have supported me throughout the years. So I'd like to thank all my favorite teachers, my parents, my family, and my friends who have supported me. Without your constant support, I wouldn't be able to consider myself successful for the moment. And in the future, I hope to continue to seek support and support others as they continue life, defining and achieving their next level of success, whatever that may be.
Now here we are, celebrating our departure from the place we have come to call home. We have grown from spirited and somewhat obnoxious children to independent and intelligent adults capable of facing life's challenges all on our own. We have persisted through academic and personal trials to be here today, and the diplomas we will receive are the trophies of our success. While at times we may have felt alone in our struggles, the truth is that every one of us always had people who supported us and reminded us of our true potential. These advocates included our friends who shared love and laughter when we needed it. They include our teachers who trained us to be capable and confident in our abilities. And of course, they included our families who have been our foundations through it all. We should all remember and appreciate those who have pushed us to become who we are. If we use the inspiration we are given to help us persist towards our dreams, then one day we too can do extraordinary things and share that inspiration with the generations to come.
The teachers at Northside House have also taught me a lot inside and outside of the classroom, so I'd like to thank them for all they've done. Another person that I'd like to thank would be one of my good friends, Jasper Emick. Jasper's been my best friend since 6th grade. He's a great friend, and I would honestly do anything for him. I got his back, and he's got mine. He's also introduced me to some really cool people, and I thank him a lot for that. Besides our friendly relationship, we're also a little competitive in the classroom. We also shove it in each other's face whenever one of us gets a higher grade. But I'm obviously the smarter one because I'm the one giving the speech, and he's not. No, but for real though, he's made my high school experience a great time. Hopefully we'll be able to make even better memories the next 4 years at Virginia Tech. Go Hokies. And before I go, I'd also like to give a little quick shout out to my fellow graduating gamers in the Discord. So quick shout out to Ethan Paetzel, Ian Cooper, Caleb Eubank, Kean Tran, Cameron Hicks, Peyton Gentry, Josh Davis, Jacob Hammond, Casey Rogan, Daniel Francis, Paulo Cruz, Barney Woolwine, Neil Patel, and Cody Travis. All right, everyone. Looks like my time's almost running out, so good luck in your future endeavors, and just remember to have fun. Thank you.
See, my father has taken the pain he's lived with, turned it into beauty. He takes the weight that he constantly lives with, but he fights on and fights on and fights on because he knows what he's doing is right. He's been a mentor to so many people throughout life. He's led groups at churches to where in these groups he not only has fun, but he works for the thoughts and the spiritual relationships of those he's with. As my father, he tries to be the wisest, kindest, and most selfless person that he can be. You see, his words and actions, they've taught me not to be someone of solitude, but to be someone of courage and of strength, who's willing to be emotional, but always believes in hope. He's shown me to be a leader of love and always continue to fight for what I know to be right. You see, he's shown me who God is, of God's love, but also of his justice, of his power, and of his worthiness. He's shown me that following God isn't always easy. In fact, it's a lot of times the absolute hardest thing I'll have to deal with. But it's always worth it because of who God is and because of his love for me and for others. But the lessons that my father has taught me, I believe they go beyond just me. Just because we're related by blood doesn't mean I'm the only person who can take them. In fact, I think what he's taught me can teach us all. Thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate everything. And to everyone else, student and otherwise, you are my fellows and you are my friends. I love you, and I hope that through the example of my father and of men like him, we may each go beyond the brokenness of who we are to grow into someone better that we may become.
We're back with more of our special graduation edition of Accent Excellence. It's time for the Terriers of William Byrd High School.
Some of us will be attending a college or university, others will be starting their career, and some will be joining a branch of the U.S. military. Although many of us will be taking very different paths, we will always have our Terrier pride binding us together. We are prepared for whatever our near future has in store for each and every one of us. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous to say that to you all because I cannot predict what's going to happen in my life, let alone every single person's life here today. I know there are going to be good and bad times, obstacles, and hard decisions. That's scary to think about, and if you aren't a little bit scared of what life could throw at you, you're probably lying to yourself. But don't let fear or doubt affect your potential, because all of us are special and have our own unique skills that will help us through life. Even if we fail along the way, we will still be okay. Everyone says that failure is a key to success, but I don't believe that is true. Failure is a part of success, but it's hard work, integrity, and passion that is the key. Now, did you notice how I didn't say how many awards or how high your GPA is? That's because a person's individual successes do not depend on these things. They are a great representation of all the hard work one has put in, and they are really pretty to look at. But it is what that high grade, the good GPA, and this shiny award represent that is important. All those things represent one's successes in life through dedication and hard work. You don't have to have the highest GPA or the most awards to receive the best from life. All of us have had a pretty successful 4 years. All of us sitting here today have accomplished a huge goal already. There are so many things that I could say, but the biggest piece of advice that I could give you as we all part ways is to stay true to yourself, love life, and with whatever you choose to do so with passion. There will be many different opportunities presented to us, but we get to decide which paths we follow and which doors we choose to open. Now, I could spend forever thanking all the wonderful people who have helped us along our journey, but in fear of leaving somebody out, I won't name anyone specific. So to everyone, thank you. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for the laughs and a shoulder to cry on. And thank you for your time and endless sacrifices.
You are armed with a tool that can change not only your life, but others too. I started really thinking about this gift and this privilege last year when Ms. Sabin read one of my essays and said something that has stuck with me ever since. She told me that I had a unique voice and cautioned me to never lose it. She warned me to not let anyone take that voice away from me for the sake of conformity. Regardless of whether or not Ms. Sabin remembers it, it allowed me to realize that I and all of you have something valuable to contribute to this world with just our voices. Now, earlier, I called this a gift, but I want to remind you not to take it for granted. It would be easy to enter the world and let things slip by you, to see an injustice and just let it go, to say, that's not my problem. It's easy to see the complex issues, bias, and injustice we are faced with as a society and say, there is no way I can ever change that. Enacting change will be uncomfortable. I can promise you that. However, having this attitude of complacency would be a disservice to the teachers, parents, and coaches that got us to this point. Do not waste your gift. Now, I'm not trying to say that in order to use your voice and your education or to have a meaningful life, you need to be responsible for some sort of broad societal change. You can use your voice on a smaller scale. Use what you learned when you argued for a better grade to argue for better pay. Know your worth and fight for it. Use your voice to lift yourself up and then bring others with you. You have the power to walk out of this building today and construct a whole new life, to bring yourself to heights you could have never dreamed of. Using the voice that has been gifted to you to advocate for yourself and others is how you make a start in this world. It's the starting line, the key, the answer, the everything. Look upon the messy beauty of our world and know that you have what it takes to make a difference. When you see violence and pain, use your voice to bring hope and beauty. When someone is undervaluing your worth, use your voice to show your power. It is a big, beautiful, and scary world out there, but I promise you, you are ready. And when you have made it, when you're standing on the mountaintop, remember what got you there. Remember the teachers who challenged you and the parents who nurtured you. They shaped your life and have given you the power to shape others. Thank you.
Well, folks, that'll do it for this special edition of Accent Excellence. Remember, you can always go back and watch complete playbacks of graduation on our Graduation Rewind website at www.rcps.us/graduation. To the class of 2019, congratulations, and we wish you all the best of luck. Remember, to learn more about Roanoke County Public Schools, be sure to check us out online, and remember, we're out there on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Chuck Lionberger. Have a great summer, and we'll see you all in class in August.